Hello everybody, welcome to my channel Astro-Jyotish. My name is Sunil Singh, and in today's video I'll be taking up 5 charts or Kundli of 5 famous entrepreneurs and show you how the rules that I talked in my other video apply, and so that you can potentially take your own chart or your friend's chart and go through it to see if the chart shows a potential to become an entrepreneur. Okay, so before you see this video, I will highly recommend you to watch my other video, which is on astrology for entrepreneurs. That has got all the rules that I'll be using in this video. So let's take the first chart of Mr. Mukesh Ambani. So I'm sure you all know Mukesh Ambani. So the rules we talked in about are first to one should have a really strong personality, which is seen from the lagna. So this house is your lagna in your chart. So you need to look at the condition of the lagna and the strength of the lord of the lagna. So in the chart of Mukesh Ambani, if you see, the lagna lord is Mars, and which is aspected by Mars. So the Mars with its seventh aspects Lagna, which essentially means the Lagna is strong. Okay, so that fulfills that this native has a strong personality. Now let's look at the second rule. The second rule is about the karma house. The karma house in astrology is the 10th house. Now if you see the sign over there is 5, which is Leo, and the Lord is Sun. Where is Sun? So this so Sun is in the 6th house. Let's look at the third lord. Third lord is Saturn. Okay, and Saturn is in Lagna. That definitely shows one whose third house is the house of self-employment. That essentially means a native somebody who is likely to be self-employed. And Saturn also aspects the third house. Now let's look at the next attribute, which is the customer or the partnership. So that is seen in the chart from the seventh house. The seventh house lord is Venus. Venus is conjunct with the 10th lord in the sixth house and conjunct Mercury. Okay, and Mercury is the house of gain. So basically, if you see between the seventh and the sixth house, there is a Parivartan yoga happening, which essentially means the lord of the sixth house, which is Mars, has gone into the seventh house, and the lord of the seventh house has gone into sixth house, which is Venus. And so both Venus and Mercury, they are conjunct with the 10th house. Okay, this essentially make the seventh house extremely powerful. Okay, so both we have seen the first house and the seventh house are powerful. That gets a tick as well. Now let's look at his gain. Okay, so the second lord, if you see the second lord, which is the wealth, has gone into the 10th house, which shows he will do some form of family business. Okay, and the wealth also he will use his family wealth to really establish his business, which is true. Now you will also see the ninth lord, which is what? Cancer. So that's moon. And where is moon? Moon has gone into the second house of wealth, which means he will make wealth through his luck. Okay, because the ninth lord of luck has gone into the second house of wealth. Okay, so this clearly shows an entrepreneur who would make huge amount of wealth and will be very strong in terms of when it comes to facing his customers. Okay. Um, Now you can also let's move on to the next chart, which is Mr. Ratan Tata. Um, Now let's see the first rule, personality. So you can see Sun is in Lagna, okay, conjunct with Venus. Venus is the 11th lord. Okay, so Sun in Lagna, it makes him very and somebody who would be doing independent work. Okay, now let's look at the karma houses, which is the 10th house. This is your 10th house. Okay, so 10th house, Mercury is the lord of 10th house, and Mercury has also gone into Lagna. Okay, that shows that um, again there is a connection between the 10th and the Lagna lord. And Mercury aspects the seventh house. If you see seventh house, how the seventh house with Gemini, whose lord is Mercury. So seventh house is gaining aspect of its lord. That means it is strengthening the seventh house, which is really important to deal with the customer and your client. Okay. So now let's look at the gain side of, or the profit, how he'll make the profit in the business. So the second lord is what? Because you can see Saturn. Where is Saturn? Saturn has gone into Kendra, aspecting the 10th house. Okay. And what about Jupiter? What does Jupiter show? Jupiter is growth. So it shows the wealth. He will be able to grow the wealth of his family. Whatever he has inherited from family, he will grow. That wealth will grow. Okay. The ninth house, which is the house of luck, the Lord Sun. If you see, the Sun has made connection with uh, the Lagna. So that essentially shows a Raj Yoga. And if you count the number of planets, that was another quick test rule, which is between eighth and the second house. If you see, there are six planets, so one, two, three, four, five, six. We don't consider Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto in Vedic astrology, so we am not considering them. Let's move on to the next chart of Mr. Narayana Murthy, founder of Infosys. This is an interesting one because here this will show, you can see the three planets that I have mentioned in the rule aren't there. You see Jupiter here, okay? So it shows what? The third Lagna Lord. So if you see third Lord, but there is a connection with the third house, which is self-employment, which essentially means that the person will become self-employed at some point. When would that point come? That is driven from the dasha. Okay, so when Mr. Murthy started his career, I think he worked as an employee with Patni Computers in Pune. Um, but later on, when his Rahu Dasai started, Rahu Moon Dasai in 1981, that's when he founded Infosys. So why did that happen? If you see Moon, a connection with Rahu. Rahu is the foreign element, and it's connected with Moon, and Moon is the 10th house. That's when this got activated. And what do you see here? You have got Saturn and Mercury. Okay, both planets. They are sorry, they are responsible for business. Now let's look at how how uh, how other planets are there in the chart. So if you see, the 12th house. So the Lagna Lord has gone in, Venus has gone into the 12th house, and the seventh Lord, which is the partnerships, has also gone into the 12th house. What does that mean really? So he will have, and then Moon, Rahu from his fifth aspect, it aspects the 12th house as well. Okay, so this is where how in the Rahu Dasa, his first house, seventh house, fourth house, and 12th house got really activated, and that is why he started doing business in IT, because Rahu represents IT. Okay, and then with foreign natives, that's why he started that business. So see, so I've talked about the 10th Lord, Moon in the 8th house, conjunct Rahu. Now let's look at his gain side. So you see, uh, his 11th house has got Leo, whose Lord is Sun, placed in the same house. So his 11th house becomes really strong. So he'll make a huge gain, okay, from the karma he does. So you can see there is a connection between the third house, self-employment, with the Lagna Lord, and the seventh Lord, and and then your Karma Lord, which is Saturn, and Saturn also aspecting, from his third aspect, aspecting its the house of 12th, which essentially shows if all focus on the foreign business. Okay, so and if you see the quick thumb rule, which is the number of planets between 8th and 2nd, you will see 9 planets, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So 9 planets, which is strongly shows somebody who will be doing business or will become an entrepreneur. Okay, so let's take the next chart of another entrepreneur, Mr. Ajim Premji from so if you see what you see in here again, he has got Jupiter in here as well. um, so seventh lord, so Jupiter from first house aspect seventh lord, which makes seventh house really strong. Then the first and the 10th lord, first lord is what, Mercury, and the 10th lord is also Mercury. They have gone into 12th house. I was just talking about the 12th house connection with foreign. So again, somebody would do business with foreign countries. And look how Rahu is has also come in here, and Saturn again uh, aspecting Mercury. Okay, the Lord, and the Lord of 10th house and Lagna. So in terms of as I mentioned, it shows that there's some foreign element in the business. In terms of the gain, the 11th house of gain is in the Kendra. So you can see Moon. Where is Moon? 11th house has got Cancer, so Moon is in the Kendra, which aspects the or which is forming a Gajakesri yoga. If you see with Jupiter 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a very strong yoga. Okay. Then the ninth lord of luck, okay, is in its own house. So he's been very lucky, conjunct with Mars. Mars is the third house, so connection with the third house. This also shows somebody who will be who will go into a self-employment. And the number of planets, if you see here also, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you've got 7 planets. Okay, so that's Mr. Jim Premji's chart. I'll take Okay, so Mr. Lakshmi Mittal, if you see here, again, the personality wise, Lord's his son, an independent, like king, like planet, gone into the 11th house of gains. Then the karma houses, Venus making Raj Yoga with the ninth house. So you can see 10th Lord in ninth. And then in terms of the partnership, again, seventh house is getting aspect of its owner. Um, so is Saturn is aspecting the seventh house. Jupiter is there, which means it will grow. So he will really make huge partnership. That continuous growth in his partnership is something that can be explained from Jupiter. You also see the 11th house of gain in the 10th house. So can you see this is Mercury, and Mercury has gone into the 10th house, which is Lakshmi Yoga. Okay. Then the ninth lord of luck, which is Mars, this has gone into the second house of wealth, which essentially means his luck will bring him wealth. Okay, and if you count the number of planets between 8th and the 2nd, you'll see 8 planets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, which also shows somebody who will be an entrepreneur. There is a lot more than this. So what I have been showing you is just the D1 or the Lagna Kundali. But in order to know what kind of business one would go into, and the timings, and what kind of environment the business will have, all that things can be seen from other divisional charts like Navamsha and D10. I've just made this very simple at the moment, just to show you that even with the basics rules, you can take these basic rules and apply in your chart to figure out if you have potential in your chart to become an entrepreneur. So hope you like this video. You can send comments to my email ID, vedicsnilsingh@gmail.com. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.